What we're trying to do is we're trying to give MSPs large and small a way to either
Welcome everyone, we are here again live with the MSPAA at the GTIA ChannelCon 2025, standing amongst the palm trees here in Nashville, Tennessee in this lovely resort. I'm here with Matt Yesbeck from MSPX. Matt,
Yes.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mike. Glad to be
Okay,
here.
in prep for this, we were talking about something fun. Tell all the listeners what you're trying to accomplish with your new startup,
Absolutely.
MSPX.
Yeah, so MSPX is the first marketplace for the buying and selling of managed services contracts. What we're trying to do is we're trying to give MSPs large and small a way to either pick up contracts or to divest those contracts rather than just having to fire a customer and deal with the bad word of mouth and fallout that comes from that. And why leave money on the table? A contract is more than a commitment, it's currency.
Okay, where did this idea come from? Why'd you get into the game?
Great question. The idea was actually born out of necessity. My business partner was working at a small MSP. He was the director. He analyzed his book of business. As often good MSPs will line up their A, B, and C customers. He had identified 4 or 5 that needed to be let go, primarily because of low or no margin, and they just would not have come along for the ride to have that bump in their monthly MRR. So he took to the internet to figure there's got to be a place where I can release these customers without risking bad word of mouth, get some money from it, and safely transition them to a vetted MSP. He found nothing. He contacted me. We had a deeper search, and we realized we had found a white space in the channel, and we decided to solve for it.
What do people do now?
Currently, this type of transaction or contract swap has been happening for decades. It's nothing new. It happens all over the world amongst MSPs, but primarily it's message boards, it's forums, it's peer groups, things like that.
Your buddy.
Yes, your buddy, and sometimes your competitor in your own backyard that you have befriended and said, hey, I'm getting ready to fire a customer, I'm gonna recommend them to you. And if they happen to come over, I'd appreciate a cut. So again, very informal, insecure, and kind of shady.
Yeah, sure, and maybe even just painful.
Absolutely,
Because,
time consuming.
Like, if you don't know that many people, then you're left in this limbo where emotionally you don't want to have this client, which I'm sure is compromising the value delivery.
Yes.
But you can't find anyone to give it to, so you either have to just let them go off on their own, which no one really wants to do, or you sit with it.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right, so the alternatives are a lose-lose, right?
Right, the client loses because they're secretly hated and they don't know that, and the value diminishes until they'll just quit, which is worse for the MSP.
It is.
Okay.
Bad word of mouth.
What do you think is going to be the primary dynamic here? Is it going to be large MSPs offloading clients as they grow, or is it like the small MSPs swapping? What do you think the primary use case is?
Yeah, I think you nailed it there. It's going to certainly be the larger MSPs that are probably up around that $10 million mark that on a quarterly basis probably go through their portfolio of clients and line them up A, B, and C, and then they cut accordingly. Now this just gives them a way to offload those contracts and to make money for it, and really to serve the community underneath them from which they came eventually,
they came from.
They came from.
As you grow.
Exactly. So they're giving back to those smaller MSPs that are either just starting out or maybe trying to break above that $2 million ARR threshold. And so by releasing those smaller customers that are maybe 5, 7, 10 seats that are just too small for you anymore, there's another MSP out there that would eat that up and would absolutely be a profitable customer to take on.
Okay, so this begs the ultimate question. How are these contracts valued at this stage?
Yes. So on our landing page today, which just went live last week, we have a free valuation calculator that has been meticulously put together. It asks 11 very pointed questions to determine not only the valuation that you can expect to list that on the marketplace for, but it also assigns it a risk score. And in that report, you're going to see the valuation range. You're going to see why it was given that range, the risk score it was assigned, and how you might be able to improve on that contract for a higher valuation. Because again, contracts are more than just commitments, they are currency. So You want to know that when you're signing an MSA with your customer. You want to try to get that longer commitment. You want to try to have certain things that are in that MSA that make it more valuable for you, the MSP. And so using that contract calculation or valuation calculator, you'll know what to list it for on the marketplace within reason that you can actually attract a buyer.
What's kind of the rule of thumb here that we're talking about? Because like let's say it's a 3-year contract.
Right.
Well, that might not happen because that would mean the contract's just signed.
Yeah.
Let's say there's. I'm thinking about lease busters. Like you leased a car.
Right.
This is the contract busters, lease busters for MSPs, right? So
Right.
you lease a car, you don't like the car, you bought a sedan, you want a van now, so you want to get out of the lease.
Right.
You have a contract with a client for 3 years, maybe there's 2 years left.
Yeah, sure. Or even if it's yes, okay, so we'll go with that model. So then basically what you've got there is you're going to put your ARR in. You're going to put the ARR for that contract into the valuation calculator. It's going to do simple math right away and just tell you, okay, well, your MRR times 12 is going to give you your ARR, so you know that's a starting point.
Right.
And then the other 11 questions are going to factor in if that MRR that or ARR that you're starting with is either going to go up or go down based on these very pointed questions. So typically, just to answer the question, if you're looking at typically your ARR at a minimum, and then there is going to be an X multiplier, which could be as high as 1.5, typically, of that contract.
Say that again. So let's say that you have a 1-year contract that you want to sell, and I want to buy it.
Exactly. So let's say it's $1,000 a month. So that's a $12,000 ARR for that contract.
Yes.
Based on the answers you give the calculator, it's going to either value that at, under, or above that $12,000 range. So your ARR is always your starting point.
You think that I'm going to buy a $12,000 contract for $12,000?
You very well, depending on all of the scenarios that are given in the contract, you may very well. Now, you may go lower. I mean, again, think about this as an eBay system where you are buying and selling, so you have a bid or a buy now, right? So the seller has the option to start that contract at whatever price point he wants, and he's got a minimum threshold that has to be met. So, you may have to manage expectations because he's asked too much for it. And that's okay.
And I would think that there's going to be some depression of the ARR as a lump sum. First off, time value of money.
Yep.
Secondly, guarantee of money. Mm-hmm. Third, this client has been identified as a non-ideal client for somebody. Like, let's say it's not a behavioral thing. It's just it's a business growth. We want only 25 and above, and this is a 10-person client. Right. Okay, so let's say there's nothing wrong with the client.
Yeah.
You still think there's going to be around a 1-to-1, like if it's a 1-year contract, it's going to be 1-to-1 total?
Well, again, the range is usually about a 20 to 30% spread. So it can certainly go under, but it can certainly go over. And we take in factors like, where is this customer located? Are they in a high metro area? Have they ever had any late payments? Yeah. Are they a promoter of you? Have they given you referrals? Again, what's their vertical? Right, so all these things.
What's the contract?
Right.
If there's an out clause in 3 months, this is not going to be a 1-to-1 thing.
All these things calculate how you can determine good valuation. Right.
Closer. Yeah.
So I would say start on the landing page with the valuation calculator.
Who's making the calculations?
We did.
Okay.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm sure this is going to you'll trigger it as it goes.
Absolutely. I'm sure it will get tweaked, but for
free
right now,
market capitalism.
We like the output that it's giving,
Sure.
and we have shopped it around, and we have agreement that this is in a good threshold.
Okay.
And not only do you get the valuation, but you get an entire report of why that valuation was reached, why that risk score was reached, and what you might possibly be able to do to improve the valuation of that contract before you list it.
Talk to us about the supply and demand dynamics and how you're managing that as the central body.
Yeah, so we see that typically MSPs that are around the 2 million or under mark are more of our buyers. And we see that the MSPs that are longer established and are 10 million plus are generally going to be our sellers. We also see that there's a demand for M&A brokers to list on our marketplace because they will represent a seller and they find a buyer and that buyer loves that seller, but they don't want those 20 VoIP contracts. So now the M&A broker has to tell the seller they're either going to lose that revenue or they have to continue looking for another buyer. With this solution, they can now list those contracts on the marketplace, let that sale go through, and then when those contracts, those VoIP contracts sell, the broker can cut the seller a check. So we're seeing we have the possibility of bulk contracts through M&A brokers and larger, typically PE-backed or just well-growth MSPs that are looking to divest.
Cool.
Yeah.
When did you start on this journey?
So this journey started in late 22 when we found this out of need. We put our MVP product on the market in January of 24. We shut that down in February of 25, and we've been building the brand new, feature-rich, secure, and structured marketplace that will go live September 15th.
Who brokers the transactions? Are you involved in that?
So the transactions are secured through escrow, and then we use a transition dashboard that walks the buyer and seller through every step of the way. We provide messaging so that the customer is always confident in that transition and they don't churn on you. Of course, a customer always has the opinion and they always have a final word, so that is always a possibility, but that's why that money's in escrow. Because should they churn through the transition, then the buyer or the seller, the buyer gets their money back. Yeah.
Exciting, interesting, okay. And you're not alone in this journey. Who's working on it with you?
So my son, who is also my co-founder, is the one that brought the idea to me. So it's me and my son. It's a father-son business, and hopefully it will take root in the community, and it will really, the rising tide will rise all
Were
ships.
you two working together before this, or is this your first
No, he was working in his own corporate MSP job. I was working in an enterprise-level corporate MSP job, and then he found this need, and I'm like, I think you've got something here. It's worth exploring.
Okay, so you got two alpha dogs here, but a little bit power dichotomy because one's a dad.
Now,
how do you manage that?
Well, through a lifelong relationship.
Yeah.
Right? And he's a big boy. He's 6'7", 240 pounds, but yes, right. So
we should have got him on this video.
I've been looking up to him since he was 14.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know. So to me, you're short.
Nice,
but anyway, but it's a great dynamic. We work well together. Yes, we have, friction moments, but we're family.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay. How can they find out more about you, Matt?
Yes, absolutely. Go to www.mspx.store. Check out the landing page, our intro videos, our resource center, our FAQ, and all importantly, that free contract valuation calculator.
All right. Okay, last takeaway notes. Say one piece to camera to the $10 million MSP that has the problem that you want to solve, and then do another one for the smaller MSPs that looking to take advantage of this.
So for you larger MSPs that are always analyzing your portfolio to make sure that you are profitable, those C customers are gold to another MSP that's below you. And I would just encourage you to, instead of firing those customers or passing them along through some other back channel means, put them on the MSPX marketplace and allow those smaller MSPs to pick them up. To the smaller MSP, I understand that referrals are the lifeblood of your business and that sales may be hard to come by. But so I would encourage you to not only work on that sales component, but use MSPX as a secondary avenue for revenue. Look to pick up contracts in a vertical that you're good in a geographic area you may want to buy into, or just to simply grow your business.
Fantastic. Matt, thank you for joining us here at the GTIA ChannelCon show in 2025. We're here in Nashville with the Managed Service Provider Association of America. Matt,
thank
you
Mike.
And your son and your wife that's here with you at the show, good luck with the launch in September.
Thank you. Thank you.
Enjoyed this episode? Hit like, drop a comment, and subscribe.